Scanning for audio.
Hello. Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, as you can hear, my voice is still not great. But hopefully one day that will get better and then I can come back and do another batch of these reviews. What I need to do right now is talk to you about Classic Series Special Release number 4. Classic Doctors, New Monsters, Broken Memories. Okay, I thought the Classic Doctors, New Monsters box sets were done. They'd just gone. We'd kind of milked the New Monsters for all they were worth and then produced some gorgeous pieces of drama, and then it was finished. But Doctor Who keeps moving. New monsters keep turning up, and they could be used for the past. Problem is, of course, then you've got have they met them before and how that works. More about that in a minute. So this box set came out of nowhere and surprised me. It's 4 stories, 4 Doctors, 3 lots of aliens. The last 2 stories are linked, and for a while I started thinking they were linked in the wrong order, and perhaps I was listening to them in the wrong order, because it goes 4, 6, 8, 7. Now on the front of the box, the picture, it goes 4, 6, 7, 8, because that's what your brain expects. So you've got 4 stories. Invasion of the Body Stealers, Jonathan Morris. The Queen of Clocks by Jacqueline Rayner. The Silent Priest by David K. Barnes. And The Silent City by David K. Barnes. Okay? So you know the setup. You've got your 4 Doctors, or how many it is, and then you've got monsters from the new TV series meeting Doctors from the old TV series. Okay? That makes sense. Invasion of the Body Stealers. Okay, here's the synopsis, and then I'll talk about each one at a time. Visiting the Crystal Forests, the Doctor and Sarah encounter a crashing spaceship and face and a race to find survivors. But not everyone they meet on this colony world is in their right mind. The bodding-hopping Harmony Shoal have set their sights on invasion. Now, I like to listen to these before I read the synopsis because I want a bit of excitement. I want a bit of spoiler-free fun. And I'm halfway through and I'm going, who is this? Which alien creature is this? There's a mention of celery, and I start thinking, is it a vegetable creature? I just don't get it. Because I'd forgotten about Harmony Shoal. I'd forgotten about them turning up, well, twice in the new series. That it's a Capaldi story. Well, they're both Capaldi stories. And it just they felt like one and done aliens. The whole body possession thing is, well, kind of a cheap way of doing things. Yes, you've got the whole body horror pod thing of the 1950s and Invasion of the Body Snatchers and all that business. But basically, you're looking at a bit of a makeup job for a scar, and then you've got a person and you're done. And which is why I didn't latch onto them at all. They just impacted off the surface and went away. They weren't my cup of tea as aliens. But this story more than makes up for it. Out of the 3 times they've ever appeared in the show, this is by far the strongest. And it's set kind of after the others. It's nice that the Doctor meets people out of order. I get that. It makes the stories work. And it makes the Capaldi Doctor going, rings a bell in the distant past, makes much more sense. I do love that. The build-up, the space base, it feels very much like they could be digging for sand and all sorts, and you know what I mean, those kind of stories. But it's a Sarah Jane one, and of course, well, the new Sarah Jane. I couldn't just say how good she is, because she's brilliant. Okay, The Queen of Clocks by Jacqueline Rayner. Jacqueline's work is always good, always. The construction of each section, the apparent, not errors, but storylines that take you in one direction and then they stick with your head and then you go, oh yeah. And yes, you'll probably go, oh, I knew what was going on. And you know what? The journey is just as good, whether you've figured out it or not. Because you're in a world with the clockwork people. Yeah, the girl in the fireplace wants it. The Sixth Doctor and Mel come to the rescue when they find a castle under the siege from Clockwork Droids. But in a kingdom run by painstaking precision, time is running out for the Queen. Yeah, look. It's the sort of story that you listen to and go, yeah, that was quite nice, I enjoyed that. And then the next day you start finding yourself going, oh, that bit was good. No, that bit was really well written. Oh, Colin was good in that. Oh, wasn't that the bloke who they keep thinking should... Oh, and so on. Mel's great in this. I mean, genuinely. She's very easy to go, oh yeah, she just discusses, a bit of keep fate and all that business. Oh, let's shove in a computer programming storyline. But no, Mel's a very well-constructed character. And here, she's used absolutely to her strengths. The final two stories, The Silent Priest and The Silent City, let's discuss those. In the search for solace from the Time War, the Eighth Doctor is caught between rival criminals and the law of Sunset. And the law in the city of Sunset. Who is the mysterious priest with the key to ending the violence? And the Doctor has really visited Sunset before, and why can't he remember? And that's what makes you think, is this a seventh, then an eighth? Because you know on the box, and indeed the title of the episode, that the silence are involved. Now the beauty of this is that the silence can exist, and, well, you know they're going to forget. You know the business, it's like meeting River Song out of order. But better, because you can meet the silence as many times as you want. And it doesn't matter, because they're just going to forget and move on. And it works. Both stories fit together beautifully. And you know what? There's a certain bit of casting that makes me go, really? That's the guy who played the prisoner? God, he's good. There's actually some great casting involved. And it is weird when you hear the making of and the best of that. They're still talking about recording during lockdown. How much work did Big Finish do? How far ahead are they working? If you submit a script now, are they still going to be producing it in like a decade's time? It's kind of how it feels. Look, I loved this so much more than I was going to, and I'm pleased. I can't see how they're going to do some more. But then again, that's not my job. My job's just to enjoy these things, and trust me, I genuinely did. Here's the trailer, decide for yourself and enjoy. Until next time, be seeing you.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, Classic Doctors, New Monsters, Broken Memories.
Whoa!
Whoa! Hey.
What was that?
An ore freighter heading directly for Systalzyn. It's on a collision course.
Giant grasshopper strapped into the driving seat. Oh, it must have been killed in the crash.
I was right. Yes, it is a human brain, but why put it in the head of a dead insect?
They are Harmony Shoal, and they will not be disembodied for long.
I suspect, are we alone, by the way, because we're dealing with some sort of cerebral endoparasite with the ability to animate the bodies of the dead.
The Catherine de Medici.
Oh, you're a colony.
And going by the name, from Earth.
A group of droids breached the wall near the West Gate, Your Majesty. The droids came with the ship.
The droids maintained everything.
They all want to turn us into them.
They're building robots out of bits of people.
Stop, go, acquire resources. Rebuild.
This city, it is an unhappy place.
The place has seen better days, hasn't it?
We have met many times.
What? What are you?
Out of sight.
Out of mind.
2 years ago, the city was on the brink of tearing itself apart. Then suddenly, the fighting ends, crime plummets.
And now it's a flourishing holiday paradise.
Corruption. It's everywhere.
Fascinating. So, you disappear from a human's memory, do you? I do. take it you're going to kill me.
You have said that 5 times in the past minute. Time, Lord.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.